This was a very interesting process, and I filmed literally everything I did in the first week to learn how to drive manual. Hope you enjoy. The first day of owning this car was literally just learning how a manual transmission works. This is literally my first time ever driving a manual, so as you might imagine, we had a few stalls, and a few more after that. Oh my god. But eventually I got moving. Although it could have been a little smoother. And I pretty much kept doing that for another hour. Oh my god. That's a little jerky. I stalled again trying to reverse. Oh my god. And then stalled again going forward.
Sorry for the car.
I do too. Oh my god. But at the end, I more or less got what I was supposed to do. I started letting the clutch out a lot slower. And the car didn't sound like it wanted to kill itself, which was progress. Too bad day 1 was a day of false hopes, because on day 2 I kept practicing in the empty road, but then I for some reason thought I was good enough of a driver to go out on a busy street. I mean look, don't get me wrong, I was doing alright at first. My first gear wasn't the smoothest, but mind you, this was day 2 of ever driving manual. But then if going out on a busy street wasn't enough, I wanted to go to the downtown of my city. I thought, ooh, I have a cool car, maybe I can do that. Well no, I can't because spoiler alert, I stalled. In a busy downtown. There's honestly not much to say about this. I'll just let the clip speak for itself.
It's okay.
Oh my god.
It's okay. Start and don't panic. It's okay.
Shout out to my mom who was teaching me to drive this whole time. Told me I shouldn't panic, even though I was, because I stalled out and there's 20 cars behind me. Should have stayed in the parking lot until I knew how to drive, but no, I want to go out. Okay, you know what, you live, you learn. But day 2 was a success, in the sense that it taught me how little I knew about driving a manual. But unlike day 2, day 3 was a lot better. I went back to the street, but this time it was a lot more empty, which is good. I had a lot of fun just stepping on the gas. The angles through this whole video are a little weird because I was testing out what a good position for my GoPro is, but it gets better. And I went back to flooring it. Not actually, I was scared to floor it, and I still kind of am. Anyway, I did a bit more driving, and day 3 was more or less a success. Day 4 then. This will be a good time to mention my absolute hatred for a single speed bump in our neighborhood. This speed bump causes me nothing but pain and suffering. I've scraped the bottom of my car so many times in that stupid thing, and later on the speed bump will prove to be my biggest enemy, as some might say my biggest foe. The antichrist of driving this Corvette. Anyway, today I went easy on the throttle. I mostly focused on smooth shifting and not stalling out at intersections. Luckily for me, I didn't stall out at any intersections. I only stalled out in the median lane. And I had my first run-in with a fellow Corvette brother. He even waved at me. You do not know how much that boosted my ego. At that point, I felt part of the brotherhood. I finished up day 4 with a nice drive home, which is where we get into day 5. Right about now, I started realizing, damn, I have a good sounding car. Oh, and there goes the speed bump again. If I go any faster than 3 miles an hour, I scrape the bottom of my car. And today was the first time I ever went out on the highway. I had my first run-in with some money shifts because I never used 5th gear. I never had to on the regular roads. That's a money shift right there. I money shifted again. To be fair, this wasn't anything too bad. I only went from 5th to 4th gear, but my ego was still hurt. It started raining, so I had to slow down. My mom kept yelling at me to go even slower, but you know, I'm not trying to go 25 on the highway. Driving in the rain is oddly satisfying, especially when you're watching it behind the screen. I was running at about a 1/4 of a tank here, so we decided to get some fuel, and this guy decided to get in the way. So I beeped at him, and honked at him again, and a few more times. And again. He finally went. Like a true Florida man, barefoot, filling up a Corvette. I'm not sure how much this will cost me, but can't be cheap with 93. As they say, it's not miles per gallon you get, it's miles per gallon. This was very true. I get a lot of smiles in my car, but only like 11 miles per gallon. Is that normal? Ended up fueling up for about $55 and got 15 gallons. This car holds more than our SUV, which is surprising. And then we just drove home. Day 6, we're starting off very strong with me stalling at a speed bump. I'm literally trying to go as slow as humanly possible, and then I stalled again because I started the car in first and took the clutch out. But eventually, if you can believe it or not, I actually made it over the freaking speed bump. Man, does that thing annoy me. Right about here, I started driving by myself with no adult present in the car, and that obviously warrants for some throttle. Anyway, this wasn't just a random drive. This was a drive to get groceries. At this point, I'm just finding any excuse to take this car out. Now that I bought this car, I can barely afford groceries. And then I blasted the hell out of some music. The bass on this car is just amazing, to the point where I can't even hear the actual song, it just goes... And then I got hooked by this BMW who merged in my lane, and I couldn't really sip on the throttle anymore. But anyway, day 6 was a lot of fun. I also had the dad of one of my friends teach me some tricks in the manual. He told me some stuff about practicing in reverse, and I ended up driving for about another hour, which is where we get into day 7. Day 7 of driving this beauty. It has been exactly 1 week since I started learning manual, and the speed bump still destroys me just as much. Actually, wait, no, not really. I found a way. If I just come to a full stop and start letting my clutch out, I can go slow enough to go over this thing and not stall out. So this car is very practical if you couldn't tell, because right now I'm heading to Home Depot just to show how practical this thing really is. Alright, enough yapping and more gapping. So I've been having some difficulties with the second gear. It just doesn't want to go into place. Oh, yeah, it didn't push the second gear in enough. You really gotta jam that thing in. That's what she said. Alright, where can we find parking in this place? Alright, I got some. It's pretty far from the store, but you know, now that I got this car, I barely walk, so I need the cardio. Alright, shopping trip done. You know, who said Corvettes aren't versatile? Fits perfectly. I ended up driving back home, which was uneventful, which is a good thing on the road. And then this happened. Doing their job. Oh my fucking god, I just forgot where 4th is. Alright. That's a problem if I still have to think about where the gears are. Good observation, Sherlock. It really is a problem. And today I had some of my first passengers in the car, and I decided to treat myself to some Corvette fun. Oh my fucking, that's loud. Under their bridge too, I saw an opportunity. To summarize, to conclude, overall, in conclusion, I think I made a lot of progress in the first week. Some people ask me if I have any regrets about buying manual. No, none whatsoever. Even though it might be a little difficult to learn sometimes, slamming the gears at 5,000 RPM makes up for any difficulties I might have. Drop a like and subscribe if you want a week 2 progress video. I'm gonna go fill up my gas tank again. Peace.